Howdy friends, Russell coming to you from the shop once again. Little repair video we're doing on this Porsche 986 Boxster. This one's an 03, 04. One of the things we've run into these is the vanity mirror covers have a tendency to break often. So to repair this, you actually have to replace the whole assembly minus the mirror piece and do some soldering work to do the repair. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to move the camera over to the other side so y'all can see the solder work going on and kind of how this works. So I'll move the camera right now and then we'll get started on it. Now the first thing we've got to do for this, we've got to get this old assembly out without breaking it. Not easy to do. A lot of times these things have already broken and been left in the up position for a long time and sun faded, which makes this plastic real fragile. So I've got to be real careful pulling this light/mirror assembly out because we have to reuse this. So I'll zoom the camera in. This is probably about all you're going to see of my face in this video. The rest of it's going to be up close working on the vehicle. Not really a super hard job to do, and not really very time consuming. I will say, however, that the replacement parts can be quite expensive if you're not used to working on Porsches. Pretty much every Porsche we sell, we've had to do this, if not both, at least one of the mirror assemblies has to be replaced. It's just one of those things. And of course this one's going to be a bugger to get out. Just generic plastic trim panel tools. I usually try and get 2 of them in here. There's a tab on the bottom of this mirror assembly, and once I can clear that tab, then I can work my way around and get it out. Now, it does still have wires attached to it. You just trim the wires, and that's it. So we're reusing this piece minus the actual electrical assembly. It's actually, over time, self-adhered itself to the back of the mirror. So we have to remove all that without breaking the mirror. So that's always a little fun. First thing we do is get rid of the bulbs, because the new assembly comes with the bulbs. And we just kind of work it a little bit, and then it'll come out. I can hear y'all right now. Oh my God, he's throwing parts on the floor. Okay, so we've managed to salvage the original mirror assembly, and we're going to reuse this piece. So the next thing we got to do is we've got to get the actual housing out. And the same thing, it's got tabs, top and bottom, that stick behind. And it's just a matter of working the plastic tool to release those tabs. There we go. And once again, it's got a ground wire on it, so you have to trim that wire back. And that's it. This is now garbage. So, simple enough, 2 wires for the light. The assembly's designed to activate the light when the mirror cover is flipped open and there's power on the vehicle. So right now my door lights are off, doors are shut, there's no power to this assembly. If I open the door, it would trigger the interior lighting, which would then turn this light assembly on, and I'd have to be a little more careful about what I do with these bare wire ends. So the first thing I've got to do is tin the end of these two wires. And I've already got my soldering iron good and hot. So we just use a standard 6040 rosin core solder. And of course, old age has caught up with me. I have to wear reading glasses to do any kind of soldering work. So when you're trying to tin wires, you want to heat the wire and then let the solder melt into the wire. Which, when your hands are shaky, can always be fun. So that's a good bit of tinning on that wire. It doesn't take much, because when we put these together, we're actually going to use heat shrink tubing. So it's a combination of a little bit of solder on the tinning and then the heat shrink to hold them together. So those are both ready to go. Now I've already trimmed my heat shrink. I don't like those. We'll trim some new ones. Those are too big. That's better. Slip my heat shrink on to my bare wires, and then we'll pull the new replacement piece out. Now if you've got a Boxster and your assembly has gone bad, you've got two choices. If it's a first year, second year Boxster, I think up to 99, so third year, the lighted assemblies were an option. So you may have unlighted assemblies. And if that's the case, you can buy a brand new assembly and it's mirror and everything and it snaps right in, it's done. 2000 and later, lighted assemblies were standard. So you've got two choices. You can do what I'm doing here and repair it, or you can just buy unlighted assemblies, because quite honestly, you don't need a lighted mirror anyway. This is one of those, the car came with it, so we're going to put it back together the way the car came. So this is always fun, trying to solder freehand, which doesn't take much. Not quite enough. These wires get hot quick. Alright, so that one's together. Let's get some bend on this so I'm not fighting it as much. And that one's done. Alright, so the soldering's done. I need to unplug my soldering gun. Plug up the heat gun. We gotta shrink wrap that heat tubing. So we just get our heat shrink tubing settled over. And I forgot, I do have power to the lights, as you can see. And that's because I've got the front trunk open. I've got a battery charger on right now, so we'll just shrink these up. There we go. Alright, putting it back in is kind of reverse of taking it out. I always slip the lower tabs in first, close the lid, and then lock the upper tabs in. That's only half the problem. Now I got to take the original mirror assembly, wipe my fingerprints off, because, you know, why not? And it's got tabs on the end that lock it in, and this lower tab. So it goes in, face the upper end first, and then it'll just snap into place. And that's it. That is repairing a vanity mirror on a Porsche 986 Boxster. That's it as far as the repair goes. And that's all we had left to do on this car. I've got the battery charger on it, and I'll have that sitting on it while I go eat lunch. When I come back, we'll put this out, put it back online. It's ready to sell. Very simple repair. Unfortunately, the part numbers that we use, Porsche does some weird stuff. As they start running out of parts for a particular part number, the price goes up on it. So this is a 986, which is the number designation for a first generation Boxster. So if I were to order, and these numbers aren't exact, but if I were to order the 986 part number for that mirror housing, it'd be about, I think they're about 175 a piece for them. However, the 996, which is the first generation of the water-cooled 911, part's identical, has a different part number though, because it's for a 911. But if you order the 996 part number, it's about half that cost. So there's some of that going on with these Boxsters. Pretty much from the windshield cabin area forward on this car, the 986 and the 996 are identical. So there's a lot of times where we're getting 996 parts because they're actually cheaper than the 986 parts, even though the parts themselves are identical. But because the 986 is a Boxster part and they're running out of them or whatever, they charge more for them. So if y'all like this content, go ahead and hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon for future content, and there's more to follow.